we should try to give deeper thoughts to marriage, because it is something that is meant to last for a lifetime. And at this point, I will try to also point out two things when it comes to what having deep thoughts about marriage. Number one is the big things. Number two is the little things. There are some big issues that when you consider marriage as a lifetime journey, you cannot avoid those issues, or you cannot be able to put up with those issues for that long. I don't know whether we understand what I'm trying to say. I said when we give marriage a deeper thought, right? There are some big issues that you cannot be able to put up with for the rest of your life. The male, a man who knows himself, knows this. A woman who knows herself knows this. If a man is supposed to get married to a woman, what are the things that he cannot be able to deal with? And if a woman agrees to get married to a man, what are those things that she cannot be able to deal with in the long run? Those are some big issues that has to be put into consideration. That is one. And also the little things. Yes, because a lot of times, even before marriage, there are some issues that we tend to neglect. Yeah, you know, there's a very popular saying that love is blind and marriage is an eye-opener, right? I don't know whether you have heard that before. Yeah, it's a very popular saying. Yes, that is love is blind. That is when you are in love with someone, you tend to go blind. And when you get married to that person, it now becomes an eye-opener for you. So sometimes there are some little things that you cannot be able to put up with for the rest of your life, because it's going to make you angry, it's going to make you resentful, and over time that anger will build up, and then you start fighting because of bread. So that's it. So I think we should try to have conversations with ourselves. What are the big things and what are the little things that I cannot be able to avoid or to deal with in such a relationship? And at this point, if there's anything I want each and every one of us to take out of this this talk tonight, is there is a formula for that. For example, you will say that, okay, if I'm going to be in a relationship with this man, or if I am going to be in a relationship with this woman for the rest of my life, what are the things that this person must have? That's one. What are the qualities or the things that this person must have? If he doesn't have it, then I can't deal with it. That's one. Then what are those things that I cannot be able to put up with? That's another one. Then maybe other minor or extra things that are not going to impact the relationship, you can have another list for that. Let me give you an example. As a Muslim, if I am to marry a woman, for example, she must be a Muslim, right? Yes or no? That's number one on the criteria. Yes, she has to be a Muslim. Yes. Because maybe someone might say, okay, maybe if she reverts to Islam, something like that. No, I don't have to. For me, it has to be a Muslim woman, and not just only a Muslim, but a practicing Muslim. Yes, if you go about the streets without hijab, I'm sorry, I can't deal with it. Yes, you understand? It's not just about being a Muslim, or we are Muslims. No, it has to be a Muslim that is practicing, because marriage is part of what? Is part of ibadah. So how can you get married to someone that it's going to be a struggle between you and her, trying to tell her to put on the hijab and she say no, she can't put on the hijab because it's hot. I don't know whether we understand. So what are those big things that they have to be on the list? That person has to check those things out. It's not about money now. No. It's about those qualities that you want to see in the person, that you want to live with for the rest of your life. What are those things that he must or she must have? What are they? Yes, you can't say that, okay, I can get married to a woman that is dancing on TikTok, for example. Is it possible? It's not going to work. Yes. So that's it. Secondly, you should have a list of things that if that person doesn't have those qualities, it's going to be a problem. And you can't be able to figure this out except you know yourself. What do you want? And that is why when we go back, we said deception. You can't bring deception into a relationship. For example, let me give you an example. A man might say that, okay, he is okay with marrying a woman that is divorced, but he cannot be able to deal with a woman that has kids. Right? That's a point there. Or maybe a woman will say that she can be able to marry a man who has a wife, but she will not be able to live in the same house with him or with her. And you cannot fault her for that because she has a decision to make for herself. Or maybe she decides to say, okay, that I cannot be able to put up with this, and this in a relationship. So there are a lot of things that we tend to neglect or we tend to ignore in a marriage. Yes. It's very crucial that we take our time to do these things. Number one, I said, have a list for yourself after you have had a talk with yourself, a deep thought. What are the things that the person I'm going to live with for the rest of my life must have? What are the things that that person must have? And what are those things that if that person have them, then there are qualities that I cannot be able to put up with. For example, I will not advise any woman to put up with marrying someone, for example, maybe who smokes, because it's going to be a problem. It might be a problem. Do we understand? Now? But some people don't have a problem with it. Now?
The thing is, in this like the courtship relationship before marriage, it's like they used to, the people, both the females and the males, they used to hide a lot of things from each other.
Yeah, that is why we talked about deception earlier. Yes, a lot of things are swept under the carpet.
Yes, we're not open enough to let other people read us, like to tell the people, the other partner, this is who I am, this is what I want,
of course.
This is how I want.
Of course.
Yes, this is what I want from you. So maybe the moment you fell in love with someone, as you're going to that person's dad's and shit, they used to say that you're going to the house, you're thinking it's just this luxury that you go out together, buy ice cream, like just feel involved.
There are no deep conversations that are held even before marriage.
Yes, there are never deep conversations, never.
Of course.
So never involve themselves in any kind of deep
They never engage in such deep conversations. Of course, it's true. Yes, it's all about what is your favorite color and what is your favorite dessert.
So, and they'll be thinking that you are perfect, that he's perfect, he has no flaws, no shortcomings, and they'll be thinking the same thing.
Of course, you have to have such conversations with the person. Yes, even before marriage. For example, I encourage the youths, I know that they should have conversations around the topic of polygamy before engaging in marriage. Yes. I can hear someone is sighing. Malama Mariam, you are not okay with that, right?
Yes. No,
it's true. You have to know
It's
on
true.
what level of jealousy or how she can be able to tolerate the topic of polygamy itself before marriage, even if she is going to be the first wife. Yes, because
Yes.
some women can kill because of polygamy. So if you understand at what degree she is, that is on the scale of her disagreement or on the scale of disagreement about polygamy, you should know
But
what scale she
sincerely,
stands.
maybe at the beginning there are some men that are not interested in polygamy
Yeah, it's
at the
true.
beginning.
It's true.
Maybe it's after marriage, after
Yeah.
getting married to that partner that you
Yeah,
think
it's true.
it's flawless,
But
then you now
now, before you came back, we were talking about this, the whole concept of love is blind and marriage is an eye opener. Yes, make yourself clear to the person that you are going to embark on a lifelong relationship with, right from the beginning. This is the key. Make yourself clear to the person. If that person can be able to meet those standards, fine. If that person that cannot be able to meet them, then it is better for you to look for another one. Yes, like I said, for example, I am not going to put up with a woman who claims to be a Muslim but behaves or acts in a way that is not Islamic. Yes, you should put it out there that, okay, woman, if we are going to go into a relationship, these are the standards or these are the modes of dressing that I can be able to put up with. If you cannot be able to do that, then I'm sorry. No one is going to get hurt. But when you come into marriage and then one person says, oh, this is how I was dressing, then you saw me and you said you want to marry me. So why are you now telling me that I'm not going to dress the way I want? It's not about the dressing the way you want, it's dressing the way Allah wants. And marriage itself is what is part of fulfilling that worship towards Allah. Yes, it's like finding a companion on our journey towards Allah. So we have to make that clear. Men and women, you should have deeper conversations before marriage. Address the important questions. Don't just go there, talk, or let me say nonsensical chatter or meaningless chatter and just brush yourselves and go home. Then you meet the next day. No, these are conversations that has to be held in person. Yes, because it's important. When you are having a conversation with someone in person, there tends to be that connection there. You can be able to see the reaction to those questions. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not we are living in a society today where couples communicate through WhatsApp. Couples, they are married. In fact, they are within the same house, but maybe the husband is in the living room, the wife is in the bedroom, so they just communicate through that. I don't understand what new level of communication that is. That human interaction is lacking. Now?
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard
of like what you said now?
No, that
like couples living in the same house and communicating through WhatsApp?
Yes, it happens.
It do happen.
It happens. Of course. It happens a lot. It happens. They don't have time for each other. Maybe the wife works, the husband works, so each one needs his own space. So they just communicate through WhatsApp, and the next morning they take their bath and just get ready and leave the house as well. Before you know it, each one starts to get dissatisfied with the other. Yes, and maybe like you said, that maybe the question of polygamy doesn't come. Maybe after some time in the marriage, that is when the question of polygamy arises. Yes, because the male or the man is now feeling neglected. He is feeling abandoned. He is getting dissatisfied with the relationship. So now he has to look for an option. But the problem is the woman doesn't have a choice. So it is better for the man and the woman to work it out together so that no one is going to feel betrayed at the end of the day.
But there are so many people that are very difficult to communicate with.
That is why you have to learn. You have to learn social skills.
That's right.
Yeah, we learned how to talk, right? We learned how to talk, how to walk, how to eat. But I think marriage, there are a lot of things that we don't learn in marriage. For example, I talked about emotional compatibility. A lot of men don't have no idea that the basic need of a woman is more of emotional than what? Than material. Of course, there is a very wide gap in that understanding. Men do not know that women need to be on that emotional wavelength with them. You have to, even if you have a lot of work to do, you have a lot of pressure to deal with, you have to be able to connect with your wife on an emotional level. She needs that connection, that sense of security, that sense of what? That emotional compatibility with you. You have to be able to connect with your wife on an emotional level. That emotional need is there. Yes. And that is why a lot of women, most especially in marriages that maybe the husband is very wealthy, he is a well-to-do man, maybe he travels a lot, the women in such relationship are always dissatisfied. They have everything, but they are not happy. Yes. Because you cannot deny the essence of what a human being is, which is that need for connection, that need for what? For that connection. Yes. You can't avoid it. It is built in as humans. You can't deny it. Yes. So that's the problem. So that is that. So Malam Aisha, do you have something to add to it?
Yes.
Okay.
So now we are still talking on finding the right partner.
Yeah.
So I think maybe after a discussion, we have to give them chance to say something if they have anything to say.
All right. All right.
So if anybody has a question to ask or say something, then I think it's the time.
Now, so please, if you have any question.
Actually, there's an contribution I would like to ask.
No, I'm listening.
Regarding to choosing a partner that you live in Latin. Actually,
I'm sorry, we cannot hear you
we
properly.
didn't get that question. I just heard some part of it, I think. He said regarding... What do you say, Malaysia?
regarding the choosing a life partner, at least one has to know himself. What he likes and what he doesn't like.
Of
before
course.
Before choosing a partner for himself.
Of course. You have to know. You
He
have to have...
study himself.
Yeah. That is
Some
the...
people they are test, but they don't study their test. Actually.
Yes.
They don't know their test.
Of course. You have to know exactly what you are looking for before you can even demand for it, whether as a woman or as a man. Yes, because like I said, we tend to lower our standards, or we tend to turn a blind eye because we think that, okay, this person, we love this person and we don't want to lose the person, so we just tend to put with all sorts of nonsense even before the marriage. Yes, some marriages, if you look at the dynamic of the relationship before the marriage itself, it is already tense. Yes. Even before the marriage, some of the relationship are already tense. Why? because there are a lot of what? A lot of clashes and conflicts that goes on even before the marriage.
And unsolved issues. Because
Of course,
if
and
you have
unsolved
it's
issues.
Okay, but to solve them, yes, is the problem.
Of course.
Know how to solve it. Yes.
And also a contribution to that, there's a mentality that we normally have. Since we can take care of our needs, so there's no need for love or any other thing. So that's the root of the issue.
Is
before
what?
even the marriage. That is the root of the issue of the marriage, even before the marriage. There's a mentality to have that since you can take care of my needs, so there's no need for love or any other affection or any other thing. So there's no need for that.
Yeah,
so
of course.
We normally have that mentality. That's
And even itself, for example, when we are talking about love itself, let's assume that, okay, we are talking about love itself. What does it mean to love a person? Love is not something that you just say randomly to anyone. No, it has to do with taking or accepting another person as part of your own being.
Yes. And
Yeah,
accepting
if you say that you
person
love
completely.
someone, you have to take or make the effort to accept that person as part of your own self. Yes, because
Yes.
in the context of love, people are getting hurt. Right? A person will say that, okay, he loves his wife, but he is hurting her.